My beloved child, there is a truth you need to hold within your heart with gentle reverence. I am the one who loves, but my love is never separated from holiness. I am not a father who indulges darkness so that you may feel comfortable in what is destroying you. Nor am I a cold judge who only condemns without mercy. In me, love and truth do not oppose one another. They flow together from one single source of light. I love you, therefore I cannot call evil good. I have compassion on you. Therefore, I cannot allow deception to wear a crown as though it were truth. I embrace you with kindness, but my hand also pulls out the poisonous thorns that are hurting you, even if the removal may ache. My holiness is not a wall pushing you away. It is a pure fire that keeps you from being swallowed by darkness. Do not misunderstand my patience as silent agreement. There are seasons when I wait, not because I do not see, but because I am giving room for you to turn back. There are times when evil is not judged immediately, not because I am weak, but because I am still opening a door for repentance, still drawing the wandering one back from the edge of the abyss. But my waiting does not mean truth has fallen asleep. Everything that is sown will one day bear fruit. Every lie spoken in secret will one day be touched by light. Every wound inflicted upon others, every abuse of trust, every act covered with an outward appearance of righteousness, while inwardly carrying hypocrisy, cannot hide from my eyes. I see, not to destroy human beings, but to bring all things back into the righteous order of light. If I ignored evil, where would the weak find refuge? If I passed over injustice as though it did not matter, would the tears of the trampled fall into meaningless emptiness? No, my child, I hear the sighs of the oppressed. I see the trembling hands of the betrayed. I know the prayers no one else hears. My righteousness is hope for the wounded, shelter for the wronged, and the assurance that darkness does not have the right to reign forever. Understand this. My judgment is not blind rage. It is restoration of order, the bringing of all that is crooked back under true light. When I confront sin, I do not do it because I lack love. It is precisely because I love that I do not allow it to continue destroying what I have made. Remember the story of King David when he hid his wrongdoing after what happened with Bathsheba and Uriah. A beloved king, a man who had sung songs of worship, one who had known my hand leading him from the fields to the throne, still fell into the darkness of desire, power, and concealment. I did not erase the truth just because David had once been anointed, nor did I pretend that innocent blood had never fallen upon the ground. I sent the prophet Nathan to him, not to crush David into despair, but to open his eyes to the abyss into which he had stepped. That exposing word was sharp, yet within it there was mercy. For if sin had remained hidden, his heart would have continued to decay in silence. When David realized what he had done, true repentance opened the way for mercy. But the consequences of wrong action remained a reminder that grace does not make wickedness harmless. From that story, I want you to learn something very deep. I can forgive, but I do not lie. I can restore, but I do not call a wound small when it has hurt someone else. I can lift the fallen, but I also teach them not to take lightly the path that caused them to stumble. My mercy is not a cloak for you to keep hiding darkness beneath. It is clear water in which you may be washed clean and come out of the old place. You do not need to run from me when you recognize you're wrong, but neither may you use my love as an excuse to remain in what is crooked. The one who is truly loved will be called out of what destroys them. The one who is truly cherished will be taught to live in the light, not left alone in a dark room, and told that it is peace, therefore, when I correct you. Do not quickly think I am distant from you. Correction that comes from me may quiet your heart, may cause you to face things you once avoided, may cause you to stop blaming and begin taking responsibility. But that is the sign of mature love. A good father does not let his child play with fire and smile as though it were nothing. A true shepherd does not stand still while his sheep walks toward wild beasts. A wise teacher does not praise a student who is going the wrong way, simply to keep that student happy for a moment. I am the same, my beloved child. I will comfort you when you hurt, but I will also point out what must change. I will bandage the wound, but I will also cut away what has infected it. I will embrace you in weakness, but I will not allow weakness to become the throne that rules your life. There are people who want a God who only blesses and never sanctifies, who only supports and never corrects, who only opens doors and never asks whether the heart is upright. But that is not who I am. I cannot be reduced to a pleasant image that people may use according to their own desires. I am merciful, but I am also holy. I am slow to anger, but I never compromise with evil. I am full of compassion, yet that compassion does not blur truth. If you want only comfort while refusing truth, you will not be fully healed. If you want only forgiveness without changing direction, you will keep returning to the very place that wounded you. True grace does not lull you to sleep in error. True grace awakens you so you can rise and walk differently. Do not let my righteousness frighten you in a way that makes you flee. Let it bring you into reverence in a way that draws you near. There is a fear that drives you into despair, and that does not come from love. But there is a pure reverence that teaches you to treasure the light, to avoid what defiles your heart, to choose truth over appearance, and to tremble before what I call holy. That reverence does not make you small in shame. It makes you stand firm in wisdom. When you know that I am just, you will stop thinking that wrongdoing can be hidden forever. When you know that I am holy, you will stop treating small compromises as insignificant. When you know that I am a merciful Father, you will dare to come to me honestly, instead of decorating your failures with excuses. I want you to examine the places in your life that you have softened in name so you would not have to change. Perhaps it is bitterness that you call self-protection. Perhaps it is deception that you call cleverness. Perhaps it is pride that you call confidence. Perhaps it is unforgiveness that you call justice. Perhaps it is compromise that you call practicality. My beloved child, I do not say this to condemn you, but to remove the cloth from your eyes. What is wrongly named is very difficult to heal. Let me call everything by its true name, and then you will see that my mercy does not leave you, but comes closer to lead you out of it. Truth in my hand is not a knife that kills hope. It is a plow that breaks hard ground so new seed can grow. When others wound you, remember also that I do not overlook it. You do not need to turn yourself into an avenger to prove that your pain is real. I have seen. I have heard. I know every detail, even the things you cannot explain to anyone. But while I deal with all things according to my justice, I also guard your heart from being possessed by the darkness of bitterness. Entrust final judgment to me, and keep your hands clean from actions born out of anger. My righteousness does not only confront evil outside you, it also protects you from becoming the very thing that once caused you pain. I will teach you to forgive without enabling, to release without denying the truth, to stand firm without becoming hard in your heart. Then you will realize that holy love is the safest love. Love without truth is only softness that can easily be exploited. Truth without love becomes harsh and breaks people apart. But in me, both meet in fullness, I draw near to save, and my light shines in order to cleanse. I open my arms to the one who returns, but I also tell that one to leave the old road behind. I place hope before you, but I do not build that hope on pretense. You can come to me today without hiding, without defending yourself, without fearing that truth will make me stop loving you. I have known everything, and still I call you. But because I love you, I will lead you out of what is unworthy of the light I have placed upon you. So let your heart become soft before my holiness. Do not resist the hand that is shaping you. Do not fear the cleansing fire, for it does not come to destroy you, but to burn away false chains. Do not regard correction as rejection, because within that correction is the affirmation that you still belong to me. I step into the light with honesty. Let your lips stop justifying and begin saying that you desire to be made new. Believe that the righteous one is also full of mercy, and that the Holy One is also the Father bending down to lift you. I will not ignore evil, but neither will I abandon the one who knows how to return. I will not lower truth to make you comfortable in darkness, but I will give you enough grace to live in the light, in purity, and in the lasting peace I have prepared for you, my beloved child. Before you knew how to call your own name, before your eyes opened to behold the first light of this life, I knew you. Before you understood what pain was, what hope was, what waiting meant, I had placed upon you a hidden seal that no human hand can erase. You may have passed through many seasons, thinking you were only an ordinary person among the crowd. Perhaps there were times when you believed your existence was accidental, merely the result of events following one another, without clear direction. But I speak to you with tender love. You are not a random thing in the flow of time. You were named in my purpose long ago, and your life carries within it a sacred thread woven by my hand, even along the roads you did not recognize. There were years when you thought everything was against you. Harsh circumstances, the discouraging words of people, and old wounds made you wonder whether you were still worthy to step into what is good. But my child, what I have ordained is not so weak that it can be ruined by human judgment. My plan for you is not so fragile that one season of failure can make it disappear. What you have gone through may have slowed you down, may have made you cry in the night, may have required much time for you to stand again, but it has no authority to cancel the calling I placed upon you. The past may tell the story of what you have walked through, but it has no right to write your final chapter. I alone hold the deepest part of that journey. Do not think that because you have been weak, I cannot use you. Do not think that because you once wandered, my hand has been withdrawn. I am not like human beings, who look at you through one moment of failure and define all of you by it. I see you in the fullness that you yourself have not yet seen within you. I see the seed before it becomes a tree. I see the harvest before the ground cracks from drought. I see dawn before the night has yielded. When I call you, I do not call you only according to your present condition. I call you according to what I am forming within you. People may see the dust on your garment, but I see the new robe that grace will place upon you in the right season. Remember Jeremiah, a young man who trembled before a great responsibility. When I called him, he looked at his age, his immaturity, and his limits, and thought these were reasons to step back. But I did not call him because he saw himself as strong enough. I called him because I had known him beforehand and had placed a mission in him before he understood himself. That story is not given so you would compare yourself, but so you would understand one thing. My calling often comes before your confidence. I do not wait until you are perfect before I send you. I call you, and as you follow me, I teach you to become steady. I refine you, I shape you, and I place the right word into your life at the right time. Therefore, when you feel unready, do not quickly conclude that you have not been chosen. There are many things I prepare in silence, like roots growing beneath the ground. Before the tree rises high, those who pass by see only quiet soil, but underneath, life is faithfully doing its work. In the same way, there are seasons when you think you have been forgotten, yet in truth I am building the foundation. There are doors not yet opened, not because I have refused you, but because I am making you deep enough so that when you enter, the brightness will not shake you. There are people who leave you, not so you may suffer loss, but so you will not carry burdens that do not belong to the journey ahead. There are times when you are forced to stop, not as punishment, but so I may realign your steps with my timing. Your calling is not a sudden echo. It is an intentional purpose, preserved through turns you do not fully understand. When you were small, I protected you through things you did not know. As you grew, I used even seasons of lack to teach you to treasure what is true. When you were wounded, I did not allow those tears to become useless. I used them to soften what was hard so you would know how to empathize with the one who is hurting, so you would not become cold when you are lifted up. Even the things others thought they could use to shame you, I can still transform into a testimony of mercy. You are not defined by where you fell, but by the hand that lifted you, and by the road you continue to walk in the light. Perhaps you have asked, "Why me?" And I answer you, because I saw what I placed within you before you recognized it yourself. I do not choose according to the noise of the world, nor do I measure by appearance, nor do I judge by the praise of the crowd. I know you in the hidden place. I know the times when no one saw you, and yet you still tried to do what was right. I know the moments when you wanted to give up, but still held on to a small thread of hope. I know the cracks you tried to hide, and I also know the light that can shine through those very cracks. What I placed within you is not for you to exalt yourself, but for you to become a living sign that grace can rebuild what seemed ruined. Do not let the words of others be a prison around you. Some people only know how to call you by your past because they cannot see the future I am opening. Some remember only the old version of you because they have not witnessed the hidden work I am doing within your heart. Some will doubt when you begin to step into a new season because they are used to seeing you in the old garment. But do not become bitter, and do not try to prove yourself through anger. Let your life continue to grow in humility. A good tree does not need to argue with its old seed. It only needs to keep growing, putting down deep roots, and bearing fruit in due season. What I have placed upon you will have its day of being revealed through peace, through maturity, through kindness, and through a steadfastness that no accusation can shake. I want you to understand that preparation is not always comfortable. Sometimes I prepare you through seasons of solitude, so you learn to hear my voice more than the crowds. Sometimes I prepare you through waiting, so you do not confuse haste with faith. Sometimes I prepare you through closed doors, so you do not enter a place that looks favorable but would wear down your purity. Sometimes I prepare you by allowing you to serve in silence, where no one applauds, so the roots of humility in you grow stronger. You may not enjoy the process, but a precious vessel must endure the potter's hand. A lamp that wants to shine steadily must have oil. One entrusted with great things must learn faithfulness in small things. So, my beloved child, Do not run from the calling simply because you do not yet understand the whole road. I do not require you to see the entire journey before you take a step. I only invite you to trust me in the next step. Give me your fear, including the feeling that you are not good enough, not strong enough, not pure enough, not wise enough. I know all these things, and still I call you. I do not call you because you have every answer. I call you because I am the one who will lead you. I do not place a mission on your shoulders and then leave you to carry it alone. I go before you to open the way, behind you to guard you, beside you to uphold you, and in every season to remind you that what I have begun will not be stolen by people, circumstances, or darkness. Rise in peace, not in pride. Receive the truth that you have been known, named, and prepared by mercy. Do not despise what I have sown in you simply because it is still small. Do not abandon the journey simply because the present does not yet look like the promise. Do not let old days pull you back into the garment I have already removed from you. Before you knew how to pray, I already had a good intention for you. Before you knew you needed guidance, I had already placed signs along the road. Before you knew where you belonged, I had already called you my child. And today, as you hear that calling again, let your heart soften, let your feet become steady, and let your eyes look upward. I, your merciful Father, am still preparing you for what I have ordained. And no darkness can overcome a plan born from my light. My beloved child, there are things in this world that seem radiant at a glance, but when you stretch out your hand to touch them, they vanish quickly. They like a thin mist under the morning sun. You see power being celebrated, money being treated by the world as a fortress, beauty being placed upon a high throne, and fame being praised by the crowd as though it were an eternal crown. But I want you to become still and look deeper than the glittering surface. Not every light comes from heaven, and not every door that opens before your eyes leads you into peace. There are things that shine brightly on the outside while being hollow within. There are words that are sweet upon the lips, yet may hide a silent arrow inside them. I do not say this so you will suspect everyone, nor do I want you to live in fear, but I want you to be awake, because the child I love was not born to be swept away by the false currents of this life. The world often does not pull you away from me with ugly things at the beginning. It is more cunning than that. It clothes emptiness in a beautiful garment, sprinkles honey over traps, places images before your eyes that stir your heart, and then whispers that if only you had a little more, you would be happy. A little more recognition, a little more wealth, a little more influence, a little more admiration from others. But my child, a cracked vessel will never be filled, no matter how much water is poured into it. A heart trained to chase applause will never rest, because applause today may fall silent tomorrow. The crown people give with praise can also be pulled down by those same people through criticism. Therefore, do not set your safety upon that shifting sand. Sometimes the most dangerous thing does not come with a threatening roar, but with a pleasant smile. Sometimes deviation does not begin with one great turning point, but with one small concession you tell yourself is harmless. A compliment may make you love being exalted more than living uprightly. An opportunity may cause you to trade purity in order to move faster. A relationship may give you the feeling of being needed, yet slowly pull you away from what is holy. A habit may make you forget to pray, forget to examine yourself, and forget my gentle presence. The enemy does not always seize you with rough chains. It can bind you with soft silk, lull you to sleep with pleasant words, and use glamour to make you forget to ask whether it truly comes from the light. Therefore, I teach you to see with wisdom, not merely with your eyes. The eyes see the garment, but wisdom recognizes whether the fruit is good or poisonous. The eyes hear the promise, but wisdom examines whether that promise draws you closer to me or causes you to exalt yourself. The eyes are attracted by outward brilliance, but wisdom asks whether there is peace behind that light, whether there is truth, whether there is pure love. Do not rush after what excites your heart for a moment. Let everything pass through my lamp. Whatever makes you hide, hurry, or lose uprightness is not a gift I have sent. Whatever makes you proud, contemptuous of others, or ungrateful in the days when you are lifted up, must be carefully laid down. Remember the story of Daniel in a foreign land. When he was brought into the palace of Babylon, before him was the king's table, luxurious food, and a path of advancement many would desire. To the world, it was a rare opportunity. To a heart that knew reverence for me, it was also a quiet test. Daniel did not resist with noise, nor did he boast in his difference, but he set a pure boundary within his heart. He understood that not everything placed upon a golden table is the portion meant for one who belongs to me. There are things that look noble, but if they are received through compromise, they will weaken the light within you. And you see, I did not allow the faithful one to suffer loss. I gave Daniel wisdom, steadiness, and a position that no false glamour could buy. What I want you to learn is this: sometimes the greatest victory begins with a quiet decision not to be bought. In the same way, my child, I do not forbid you from prospering, nor do I hate beauty, nor do I despise good influence, nor do I deny the value of the things you do in life. I am the one who gives gifts, opens ways, strengthens, and causes the work of your hands to bear fruit when it aligns with my good purpose. But I want you to distinguish between blessing and a trap. A blessing from me makes you more humble, more loving, more willing to share, and more responsible. A trap makes you greedier, more impatient, more eager to be seen, and more likely to forget the weak. A blessing places you in peace even while you are growing. A trap causes you never to feel satisfied, even if outwardly you have more than before. A blessing draws you closer to the light. A trap slowly makes you comfortable in dimness. Do not let reputation become a mirror before which you kneel. Do not let money become the voice that decides your worth. Do not let beauty make you believe you are lovable only when you are admired. Do not let power make your hands hard and your heart dry. These things, when placed rightly, are only tools, but when enthroned, they become cruel masters. A person may have full storehouses and still be poor in peace. A person may be known by thousands and still be lonely in the secret room. A person may be praised as beautiful and still fear every mark of time. A person may control others and still be unable to govern the emptiness within themselves. So I ask you, do you want to be seen by the world for a moment, or kept by me in eternal steadfastness? There are sweet words you must place before me before believing them. There are promises whose fruit you must wait to see before giving your heart. There are opportunities about which you must ask. If I enter, will I have to move away from purity? There are people you need to love without opening every door for them to enter the deepest places within you. Kindness does not mean the absence of boundaries. Trust does not mean blindness. I teach you to love people, but I also teach you to guard the lamp within you. A lamp that is not protected can easily be shaken by strange winds. A garden without a fence will be trampled by many feet. You are precious before me, so you must not give your attention, time, strength, and trust to every glittering call. If today you realize that you have once been drawn in by outward appearance, do not quickly condemn yourself. I do not speak to shame you, I speak to open your eyes. The one who has wandered can still return while they can still hear my call. The one deceived by sweet words can still be healed by truth. The one who has chased what quickly fades can still learn to love what endures. Let me remove from you the hunger to prove yourself, to be applauded, to possess more in order to feel more valuable. You do not need to build a tower to reach my love. You do not need to wear splendid garments to be known by me. You do not need to stand above others to be called my beloved child. Before the world knew your name, I had already looked upon you with mercy. Before you had achievements, I had already placed worth upon you. Therefore, become watchful and still gentle, wise and still pure, strong and still tender before me. When glamour calls to you, ask me where the true light is. When praise makes you lightheaded, remember that you are only a steward of the grace entrusted to you. When money comes, use it like water that refreshes. Do not let it become a chain around your neck. When beauty is mentioned, guard the beauty of kindness, for that is a fragrance time cannot take away. When power opens before you, bow down to serve, because the one I lift up is not lifted to trample others, but to raise them. I will show you what should be kept, what should be left, and what is only false gold beneath the evening sun. Slow your steps, my beloved child, and do not let the world teach you to chase everything it advertises. This life has many invitations, but not every voice leads to life. There are many tables, but not every table nourishes you in peace. There are many crowns, but not every crown is worn in holiness. I am placing in your hand a discernment more precious than gold, to know what is fleeting and what is enduring, what is honey hiding harm, and what is true blessing from me. If you let me lead, you will not be enchanted by a fading shell. You will learn to pass through the world without being possessed by the world, to use what is given without worshiping it, to love people without being controlled by false words. And on that journey, I will keep you near me, so that among every glittering call, you will still recognize the gentle voice of your Father saying, "You belong to the light. Do not sell yourself to darkness."